Hello guys, so you probably know that in the last tutorial I was kinda puzzled how it's possible when I use union, which is short for union distinct here, I have all these things which are duplicates. But actually this is not a bug on the side of server, everything is fine with the system, it is error on my side, because I'm just a human, and human in my opinion cares about these strings much more than the numbers. But the thing is that for a server these rows are really unique, and question is why? Well, because IDs, and all these IDs are unique. So when you look at every of these individual rows, it is really not important because I have Nikita so many times here. I also have ID as individual distinct part of the row. So that's why I have all these kind of duplicates. Okay, but question is, how to solve this if you ever run into this kind of situation? Well, you cannot use star here. It is kind of not safe if you want to grab real practical results that you can use in some of your reports. Yes, as I said, it is fine. Totally it's fine programmatically, but it is not fine if you want to use this thing for something. So what you can use is just don't use a star and use column names on the left and also on the right side. So this will give us a correct result. I'm gonna just copy paste this pretty much. So don't use star, use like name and address, and we will get kind of safe report here. So we will not, oops, so no star, we need to use whatever is on left side, that also must be on the right side. So address, and now we will get those unique things, and now you can work on that more if you're preparing some kind of PDF or HTML report to your boss or whatever you are doing. If you're having some kind of shop and you're searching for duplicate products or individual or rows about those products, sorry. So yeah, that's one of the solution. And actually it is not just about union, it is also about individual tables. Let me explain. So when you say select distinct all from only one table, let's say people, you will get same stuff. You will get duplicates, but actually for you they are duplicates, but for machine they are individual lines because of these ID. So you will probably say, well, what is the solution here if you want to remove these things? So if you have 5 of these or 10 of these entries, you can search for them and delete them manually, or you can find IDs and then pass those IDs to a custom script that will do removal. But basically you are thinking too much here. You don't need to you don't need to have complicated results, complicated approaches. But what you can do, which will be very simple and straightforward, is just target again those columns with where close. So delete from people where name equals what you want to delete, Nikita in this case, and combine that with something else to make sure that you don't delete, for example, Nikita Fox or Nikita with some other last name. So combine 2 or 3 of these columns to be like safe. So, and address, I'm gonna combine with address here, which is secret 000. So before you do that, make sure that you have at least one of these lines in your backup, like in a notepad or in Excel, something like that, so you can do insertion of that line after you are done with removal of these duplicates, because probably you care about these things at least in one row in your table. So make sure that you have like a 1 row backup. Right, so let me press enter, and in a split of a second I will clear table from duplicates. And now when you say distinct all from people, yes, you will get what is distinct. And yes, it is really not important if you are using select distinct all or just select all when you have only one entry in your table. So this is the reason why I have results in both of these cases, same stuff. But don't worry about this is situation on my part right now. Anyway, the more experienced people will say, well, sure, we can solve that manually, the problem with duplicates or through some kind of script, but still we do have error on a part of desktop application or content management system, because that content management system is a place where we do have problem with duplicates, because server is just a server is a dump, it will accept whatever you pass to it. But the problem is that application or that like a forum or accounting application that you have, probably you're using some kind of open source solution that is maybe not maintained for a couple of years, or you are experimenting with your own content management system, something like that. So yes, we need to solve a problem there at that place. And you have two approach here. First, if you don't have enough budget, it is way cheaper, well, sometimes, to buy additional hard drives or servers that will deal with duplicates than to hire very expensive programmers or consulting companies that will work with your server and with your application or management system. So sometimes it's easier to buy hardware than to hire programmers in some part of the world. So do whatever you need to do in your situation right now. No one is like pushing you to use perfect system when you're developing like your startup. And honestly, guys, sometimes duplicates, if you don't have them many, are totally acceptable because your time will probably be better invested if you work on marketing, or if you develop additional functionalities of your website, let's say, than if you are dealing with duplicates, because a lot of people are trying to optimize way before it is time to optimize. And you can always get into your server and do a removal of duplicates manually. So if you're one-man show, something like that, if you don't have additional budget, then do whatever you can do and don't pressure yourself too much, because you're just a human being, you're not perfect. Right, so that's pretty much moral of the story in this case. Give yourself a little bit of time to process something that you think that it's bug, just like what happens to me in the last tutorial. Actually, everything is fine with the server. I was just like not focused enough to see that IDs are important. Well, you just stare at the screen, and sometimes you just look into a couple of columns and you disregard other things because you're a human being. But pretty much that's it. And I can allow myself to do so, but when you're working with some real data, with the corporate stuff, then the better option will be to not panic. Just ask your colleagues to check what's happening, because they can see that faster with clear mind than you, that are probably overwhelmed with all kind of issues and bugs and your own thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah, we didn't write in this tutorial any kind of Python script, but hopefully you learned something here. So don't use star if you want to make sure, if you want to be sure, then just use, you know, column names, and union distinct will work as it needs to work. Okay, I'm gonna definitely shut up. Thank you for watching as always, and see you next tutorial.